What's up, guys? This is Coach Grant with First Down Training, and welcome to another episode of our First Down Training show. Today, we're going to be talking about how you can go from a JV or freshman player all the way to a five-star recruit. So we're going to break down the exact recruiting process you should follow if you were a JV player or freshman player last season, and what can help you land your first offer. Then we're going to get into some current events. We're going to talk about how the NFL ranked Mike Evans as the best wide receiver at this specific route, and I'm going to have to disagree with them on that one. And then we're going to get into some questions that you guys asked on a previous episode. So I hope this is able to help you out. Let's get started. All right, fellas, let's talk about recruiting. So if you were on freshman ball last year, JV ball last year, you're a freshman, sophomore, maybe even a junior, what can you do to start that recruiting process for yourself? So obviously there's not much you can do with freshman film or JV film. College coaches do not care. They want to see varsity level film. They want to see how well you do at the highest level possible of high school football. So that's why they want to see varsity level film. Now, what's the process going to be like? So what you need, number one, is if you just got done, like let's say you're a sophomore and you just had your full year on JV and you're going into your junior year, and there's a chance for you to be able to start on varsity. All of your time, I would say 98% of your time and your resources should go towards making varsity. I don't believe in you guys spending a whole bunch of money on college camps. We're going to talk about how college camps aren't bad. You should be going to those, but I wouldn't spend a big chunk of money on camps, a big chunk of money on some recruiting service that isn't going to do anything. Your resources need to go towards training. So skill training, speed, putting on size, getting better, all those things should be your top priority. Because again, there's nothing you can do without varsity film. So that's what you need to dedicate a big portion of your offseason towards. Now, let's talk about what you could do on the recruiting side of things. Because there are some things you could do without varsity film that could set you up for an offer in the future. You're probably not going to get an offer right away, especially if you're a smaller school guy or smaller town guy. However, you can do some things that will help you get that offer later on. So it's all about building relationships. And relationships are built in the recruiting process, or at least the college football world, through using social media, and more specifically X, formerly known as Twitter. So you need to have an account. I cannot stress how important this is. If you are a high school football player, you need to make an X account, because that's where college coaches go to recruit. So what you want to have on that account, I'm going to break down literally to a T everything you need to get this first offer, you guys. So first things first, profile picture. Some type of football environment. Could be JV, freshman, some photo of you training, whatever. And your bio, position, graduating class, school you attend, and maybe a link to your film, but if it's JV or freshman film, you could probably do without that, okay? Then, on social media, you want to be uploading content. Now, again, you don't need to upload like how I upload, where I upload like 3-4 different things a day. Maybe once every couple of days, a clip of you training, here and there, lifting, working out with your team, whatever it is, but make sure it's good quality clips. Like if you're a quarterback, don't include just like a basic throw. Include a throw that showcases your arm strength, showcases your accuracy, just something that makes you stand out. Right? Now, with that process, you want to try to find college coaches that you can follow and interact with on X. Now, there are some coaches that you're not able to DM unless you're verified. I highly recommend paying for the verification on Twitter because it opens up a lot more doors for yourself. It's not super pricey. I want to say it works out to be like maybe $20, $23 a month. If you can't find a way to earn $23 a month, I think you got other problems other than the recruiting process. So help out around the house, do some chores, go to the grocery store, buy a big bag of chips and then sell them individually at school and make some profit that way, and then use that towards the X subscription. Like, guys, there are ways to do it, okay? But you need to, I would recommend it. It's not impossible to, but I'd recommend getting verified. Now, how do you find college coaches? This is a simple process that I followed when I was in high school, and it still works to this day. I would find the school's main football recruiting account. So let's use a school like University of Oregon, right? So I would go to University of Oregon football. I'm not going to go to their followers because it's hundreds of thousands. I'm going to go to who that account is following. And it's probably going to be around like 70 people to like 1,000 people, maybe if it's a big one. Click on it, and you're going to scroll through that list. And it's tedious, but it's worth it. And you're going to find coaches on there. Your position coach, if a guy says he's a recruiting coordinator, a graduate assistant, because those are all the guys that you want to get your film in front of or at least start networking with. So follow all of them. Now, when you follow all of them, some might follow you back, some might not, whatever. What I would go about doing then is I would try to find a target list of schools that you're interested in. Now, a target list should be 10 schools from each level of football. Division I, Division II, D3, NAIA, and potentially JUCO. And I'd write out a list of 8 to 10 schools for each one. And that's who you want to target first. And now what you would do is you would reach out to either your position coach, the recruiting coordinator for your region. So let's say you're in Southern California. Sometimes coaches will put in their Twitter bio, recruiting coordinator for California, San Diego, you know what I mean, like Los Angeles, San Diego, or like a specific area or a specific state. Those are the guys that you want to interact with. Recruiting coordinator, position coach, and potentially a graduate assistant. So like the graduate assistant for, and he's assistant quarterbacks coach, assistant wide receiver coach, etc. Now you want to DM them. Now you don't have any film, so you might be asking me, why would I DM them? Like, what am I going to say? I have no film. I don't want them to like laugh at me. I don't want them to leave me on red, potentially ruin a relationship down the road. You don't got to do that, guys. What we're trying to do is open up a line of communication. So when you do get film, you have a guy to send it to. We're going to talk about that process specifically in a second. Now, you find that coach, you DM him. You should introduce yourself. Hey, coach, my name is John Johnson, class of 2028 quarterback. I go to such and such school. I was wondering if you had any camps coming up that I could attend. Why is this a good message to send? Very simple and short response for the coach. He does not want to read a paragraph that's your entire life story. Won't do it. Doesn't have the time. Something short, sweet, to the point. Oh yeah, cool. And again, it's a way for them to make money. If they send you a camp and then you sign up for it, that's money in their pocket or money in the school's pocket, and that's obviously good. College camps are a big source of revenue for colleges in the summer, and that's how they will end up paying some of their coaches like an extra stipend or something to get them through the summer. That's how it works. I've talked to a lot of college coaches. It's how it works. So they're more likely to respond to that. Now, go to the camp, don't go to the camp, whatever, you got a line of communication now with this guy. Now, I would recommend going to college camps. 1, to see how you stack up with other guys, but 2, to build relationships. If you really feel you're that talented, if you really feel you're good enough to play college football, at a camp you should be able to stand out. So like, let's say you're a quarterback, right? You go to that camp, maybe you test well. You run a good 40, you run a good shuttle time, you have a good broad jump or vertical jump. During position drills you do well, during one-on-ones you do well. Coaches are like, hey man, we really like you, do you have any film? No, not yet, I'm only a sophomore, but I'll get some the next year, let's stay in contact. Coach will be like, okay, yeah, great, when you get some film, talk to us, whatever. Then after the camp, I would DM one of those coaches, be like, hey coach, thanks for your time, really appreciate it, hope to stay in contact, right? And then you probably won't talk to him for a little bit. That's totally fine. You're in his inbox, you're in his DMs, you're not in the requested, you have a line of communication, okay? Now again, maybe you don't perform super well at the camp, maybe it's not your best outing, whatever, maybe coaches don't necessarily talk to you, want to see more, you still should follow that process, okay? Still should do it because again, it's about building relationships. Now, you're going into your season. But during all this, guys, like I said earlier, don't break the bank going to a million camps, traveling across the country. Like, the only time it's acceptable, in my opinion, to travel far for a college camp is if like you're actively being recruited by that school. But if you're not, try to keep it local. Close states, driving distance, maybe you keep a hotel, don't break the bank. Again, most of your time and resources need to be dedicated to making varsity. So let's say you're going to your junior year. Let's say you're in the starting spot. After the first 5 games, you need to make something called a mid-season highlight tape. Because that was the knock on you, right? College coaches are like, we don't have enough film. Like, we're not going to recruit you if we don't have film. That's generally what most people hear. First 5 games, make a mid-season highlight tape. Best plays, minute to 2 minute long, send it to your contacts that you've built up. Maybe you stay in contact with them a little bit, send them clips from practice. Hey coach, we did this week. Hey coach, hope you're doing well, etc. Hey coach, congrats on the win, whatever. Stay in contact with them, just little things here and there. Again, it's about building a relationship. Think about a friendship. You guys aren't friends if you don't talk to each other, right? But if you check in on, hey coach, how's it, or like, hey man, how's it going? Like, maybe don't ask a coach that, but like, you check in with each other, you talk frequently, that's a friendship. That's essentially what you're trying to build here. You're trying to build a relationship with this guy. So after your first 5 games, send him your film. Hey coach, here's my film. Then at the end of the season, after you get a 10-game highlight tape, or a full season, play 10 games, make a full season highlight tape. Again, no longer than 3 minutes, you guys, and you send that full season tape to those coaches that you've talked with. Maybe they remember you, maybe they don't, but you have contacts. They're like, oh, I've talked to this guy before. Maybe I check it out. Maybe I don't. Maybe they're following you, whatever. But that's how the process goes. Maybe they like your film. Maybe they come out to your school. Maybe they invite you to a camp. Maybe they start recruiting you on Twitter. They send you a questionnaire to fill out, whatever the case may be, but that's how the process has to go. I don't recommend using the recruiting services. I don't recommend just spamming them your highlight tape. Like, that's how the process goes for probably 95% of athletes, and it's a tedious process, but it's worth it. And how bad do you actually want it being able to play at the next level? And telling you guys, like the D1s, it may not go that way, but the D2s, the D3s, the NAIAs, like anybody that can get you that first offer, like it might go a lot better than you think, because those schools generally have to reach out to people, but you're reaching out to them, and that increases your chances. So guys, that's the process I want you to follow. If you follow that process, you're going to have a higher likelihood of getting a scholarship offer if you have the skills, have the grades, and know what you're doing. Okay, so that's all I'm going to say about that. Okay, so now, fellas, before we get into these current events, if you are a football player and you want to gain weight this offseason, fellas, check out that very first link in the description below where you can get our AG Labs Whey Protein Powder. This is a protein company that I started with my brother. Well, it's a supplement company because we have more than just protein, but it was designed to help athletes with performance, weight gain, and just overall ability. So go to that very first link in the description below. This is our salted caramel frappuccino flavor. We are sold out in all of our other flavors because you guys are awesome and you guys have been buying up our protein like crazy. But if you want our salted caramel frappuccino protein powder to help you gain weight this offseason, to help you stand out to college coaches because you got to pass that eye test, go to that very first link in the description below. Use the promo code FIRST25, FIRST25 at checkout, and you get 25% off your protein powder that will help you gain weight this year. So fellas, hope we get you on that. Really appreciate the support. Let's get into some current events. So current event number one, Buccaneers star wide receiver named best in NFL at one particular route. So this is Mike Evans, and they said he is the best at running a slant route. I'm going to have to disagree. Mike Evans is very, very good at a slant. I don't think there's anybody better than a goal line slant than Mike Evans. But if we're talking slant routes, Davante Adams. Like, who? Are we joking here? Like guys, like, you know how many clips there are of Davante Adams cooking dudes on slant routes? I swear that's all he ran in Green Bay. It was slants and fades. That's all he ran. And it was unguardable. You couldn't stop the guy. So I would say Davante Adams is better than Mike Evans at a slant route. I would love to hear what you guys think in the comment section below. Or maybe there's another receiver I'm not thinking about. A good one would be Keenan Allen. Keenan Allen runs a nasty slant route for sure, but Davante Adams, man, best slant route runner in the game, in my opinion. But anyways, that's all I'm going to say about that. Now, next question here, or next current event. College football recruiting has become a complete clown show. So this was an article, and I would have to agree about it. I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts on it. But like they were talking about how like recruiting is like just like, you know, you got the red carpet out for these athletes, and not to mention you got to pay them a ton of money in NIL, and then it's like, you know, you got red carpet, all these photos, you got these Lamborghinis, you got the nice watches and whatever, and like they're just pretty much, in this article, they're making fun of coaches and the lengths that they will go to get a great player. And unfortunately, guys, this is the world we live in now. And I think it's very, very important as an athlete that you understand that the flash, the glitz, the glamour, like that all fades. Once you sign to a school, like, bro, you're just another player. Like, you might be making good money, but you're just another player. You ain't gonna get that special treatment all the time, and don't expect that special treatment, and keep your head on straight. If you're getting gassed up by a college coach, you're a youth guy getting gassed up by a high school coach, know what it is. They're recruiting you, right? And so they want you to play there, but when you get there, it ain't gonna be the same. And you got to understand that, like, no matter how good people tell you you are, at the end of the day, it's on you, right? So, like, listen, take it from me. You can't listen to all the positive stuff people say to you and buy into it, because the second somebody says something negative, your ego is going to get hurt. You can't let your self-esteem be based on what other people's opinions, right? So what I mean by that is, like, take it from me. I read every single comment, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. And as we all know, they're not all positive, right? But most of them are. I would say probably 90% of them are positive. 9 out of 10 guys have very, very nice things to say to myself. Hey, this really helped me. Thank you so much. I love your videos, yada, yada. But I don't buy into that. I appreciate it. Don't stop doing that. I love it, right? And I love that it helps you guys. And I love hearing back from you guys. And it, you know, makes me happy that you guys are doing well and you guys are using this stuff. But it doesn't dictate how I feel about myself. You know what I mean? Because if I let that happen, then when I see a comment that's like, you're so horrible, you suck, you're awful, kill yourself, like, you know, like, then I'm going to be like, oh man, like, that guy must be right. You know, like, you can't play that game. So with all this recruiting nonsense, all this stuff, like, I'm just telling you guys, don't buy into the hype of yourself. Stay grounded. Understand that what matters is what you think about yourself, how good your game is, and your performance. Think about a guy like Michael Jordan. I always compare people to him. That dude, everybody told him how great he was. Greatest of all time, greatest player ever, yada, yada, yada. Everybody wanted to be like Mike. That dude didn't care. He just wanted to win, and he knew the work that he put in his game is what spoke for himself. He didn't buy into all that crap, and it's very easy to buy into all that crap as a young athlete, so I just say that to make sure that you don't do that, okay? So I hope that makes sense, you guys. Now, fellas, we're going to get into some questions that you left on a previous episode. If you guys got questions, stuff you want to ask me, like I just got done saying, I read every question, but we also feature them on our episodes of our show. So guys, if you want to be featured, post your questions in the comment section below. We'd love to engage with you guys, talk with you, and feature you on our next episode. So, question number 1, Caden Lewis. Hypothetically speaking, how do you get someone's parents to let them play football? Great question. You want to convince your parents to play football, you got to show them 2 things. Number 1, advancements they've made in the rules, as I'm assuming they're hesitant because they don't want you to get hurt, right? So show them advancements even the NFL, college football has made in rules when it comes to targeting, certain tackles. You know, everybody argues and says that, you know, the game's softer, and it probably is, but that's a good argument if you're trying to convince your parents. Number 2, show them the advancements they have made in equipment. Shoulder pad technology for more protection, especially the helmet technology, and show them like Virginia Tech's website where they rank helmets and talk about safety. Show them that the game is a lot safer than what it was 10 years ago, and I think that would be your best bet in convincing them, okay? So I hope that makes sense, dude. Appreciate you asking that. Next question from Football Clips 8919. Will weight training stunt my growth at 13 years old? No. Total myth. I don't think weight training will stunt your growth at any age unless you're like lifting insanely heavy when you're like 7, 8 years old, and like maybe you injure yourself and it's a pretty bad injury. But like guys, like if you're 12, 13, 14, like you should be lifting weights. You should be focused on form. You shouldn't be lifting crazy heavy. You shouldn't be lifting with your ego. You need to be focused on good habits, because it doesn't matter how much weight you lift until you really get to high school. So lift, bro. You're 13 years old. Start lifting. Get in the gym. Put on a little bit of muscle. Learn how to lift. Learn how to lift correctly, and you'll be much better off when you get to high school. It will not stunt your growth. I promise you that, okay? Now, next question. Appreciate you asking that, man. From Dylan Duenas. Hey, coach, I got a few questions. When I get in my brakes, I have trouble getting my hips really low, but they drop violently. Does it matter how low my hips get on my brake? 2, if it does, how low should I be aiming to get my hips at? And 3, can you give me hip tips to help me get lower in my brakes? So when you're dropping into a brake, like a comeback, a curl, a dig, where you have to drop your hips, yes, you got to drop violently, and yes, it does matter how low you get. Perfect position is 90 degrees. If your butt drops below your knees, you're not going to be able to move. Your brake's going to be slow. If your butt's above your knees and you're selling vertical on your route and you try to cut like that, you're going to take a lot of steps or you're going to drift. So you need to lower that center of gravity, 90 degrees. Now, a phrase that I tell my receivers, tell them 2 things to help them get that low. Think your chin slams down to your knee. If you're that low, you're probably at 90. Think your hands tie your shoelaces. And if you do those 2 things, I really think you're going to get low enough, and those are easier to focus on when trying to drop into your brakes, okay? So I hope that makes sense, man. I appreciate you asking that, okay? So fellas, guys, thank you all for tuning in. Hope this was able to help. Hope this gave you some value in terms of the recruiting process. Again, guys, if you have questions, stuff you want to ask me, do not hesitate. Post those in the comment section below. We love interacting with you and featuring you on our show. We'll see you guys next time.